Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. My name is Stacy. Welcome to my channel, The Liminal Space, which was formerly known as simply Liminal. I will tell you this is my second shot at this video because, well, I have a head cold, and in the middle of my reading, I meant to pause the video to blow my nose because nobody needs to hear that, and I actually turned the video off. So the cards are still in the same place that they came up, and I'm just going to start over. I had only gotten into the direction of east, and so that's okay. Maybe I needed to say something different or better, and I just have to believe that these things happen for a reason. I meant to record this video yesterday, but was feeling so terrible from this cold illness that I acquired that I just couldn't. There was simply no way. I actually napped on the couch twice. I'm not a napper. That is not how I function. But anyways, very, very ill. Kind of everybody in my family has got it. It seems to be passing quickly, so today feels a lot better than yesterday did, and the night before last was woo. Anyway, so I felt very called to do this reading. The last 2 years that I've done this, kind of 24 to 25, or it was like the previous year transitioning into the next year reading, was very spontaneous. I didn't know I was going to do it the first year, and then I just did it. The second year, I was kind of resistant to do it, and I still did it. And this year, I'm very excited to do it. And I felt like when I got sick, I was like, is this the universe trying to stop me from doing this, or just little quirky things? But, you know, maybe that wasn't the right time. Anyway, but one thing I did do last night while I was feeling so blah is I rewatched my video from last year, and I found a lot of insight in it, and I found a lot of things that really made sense to me looking back at the previous year. One of the things that I did that I thought was really interesting was I said a couple times, I called the year that was coming, which was 2025, 2026. And I said, I wonder if that means the year is going to go very quickly. And, you know, looking back at 2025, it did go incredibly quickly, really fast. Like, I still think I don't know, it was April 1st, and now it's the end of the year. I mean, it's just gone very quickly. Anyway, so I'm going to do the same setup that I've done in the last couple years. I'll draw a card for 2025. Then we're going to look at messages from the directions: east, south, west, north. Now, this probably doesn't look like maybe you expect it to look, or maybe it will line up with your directions at home. But for me, I'm lined up with how the directions lie in my reading space. So I hope that makes sense to you. And then I will call in a card with a message to us from 2026, which is the year that's coming. Now, I'm using this deck, the Gateway Oracle. This is a deck that I got brand new in December, and I got it purposely so I could do my Wheel of the Year readings. And I've really liked it so far. I kind of got to know it in December, used it for the Yule reading, and I felt like it was very spot on, as all of Denise Lynn's decks are. This is a deck from 2012, I think, so it's been around for a little while. But because my voice is a little raw, I'm coughing and sneezing, you guys don't probably want to listen to that, and I don't blame you. I'm going to try to keep this reading a little bit shorter, and I'm going to read just the messages from the card and intuitively, because there's good descriptors on the card, and there are good pictures, images that kind of help explain things. So I have my normal reading things with me that I always have. I have my Amazonite flame. I have an agate star. I have some sage that's burned over in the corner. I have my little wise owl. I always keep some bells to welcome in spirit. This is a set of bells that I've had for a long time. Kind of like those because you can wear them. And sometimes you do need to wear bells. If you feel like you've got Gigi's around you, wear bells, ring bells. It's high vibrational. And, you know, things that wish to cause us harm or drag our vibration down, they don't like bells. So bells are a good thing to have around. Excuse me. If I have to pause this reading, I'm going to try really hard to push the right button and not stop the reading completely. So let's go ahead and get into this reading. Let's look at what our message from 2025 is. This is the year that's been, the year that we are leaving. Oh, this is nice. We have the card Healing the Past. And the message here on the bottom, I hope that's focusing. It's hard to say. I step into my future with strength and clarity. And I kind of feel like that maybe is what 2025 was. Numerologically, it is an ending. It is a 9-year, and that means that we're moving into a 1-year numerologically in 2026, which is very exciting because we have closed a cycle, or we're working on closing a cycle. You know, just because the calendar rolls over at midnight tonight into a new year, that doesn't mean our spiritual self or even our world really recognizes that, because calendars are absolutely man-made and we've given them a lot of power in our lives, but they're still like something vibrational about our planet and the universe that says, okay, we know you gave that a date, but like you're going to linger a little bit, a couple weeks before, a couple weeks afterwards, as we transition into this new year. But I think this card is interesting because I think it's telling us that we actually all healed a lot of things in this last year. Some of us might not even be aware of it. Some of us may have been working very hard to heal things in our past. And this is kind of confirmation that that happened for us. And not only have we done a good job healing the past, but now we are stepping into the future with strength and clarity. And strength and clarity are the things that we received from the healing that we did. And so very grateful to 2025 for what it gave us. It might not have been the easiest year. I mean, it wasn't an easy year. 2024 was probably the hardest year of my life. And excuse me, so I was very happy to say goodbye to it. This year has been difficult in many ways, but there has been a lot of hope and joy involved in that, and a lot of healing, I believe, which I think is what this card is telling us. So now we know what 2025 meant to us, or what it helped us with. Now let's look at what the element of East, or the direction of East, wants to give to us as a message. Now the East is associated with the rising sun, with the element of air, with the element, or with the idea of new beginnings. That's kind of what the direction of East is like, or even spring. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this card is going to be what happens to you in the spring, but it might be, or you might feel that energy. But just this message with that energy from the East. So we have this idea of manifesting dreams. And the message on the card is, my dreams are coming true. And so the card really shows us a picture of the fall. We have a basket full of produce. We have a tree and fields that are turning yellow or orange because the fall is with us. But spring is the time to plant the seeds so we can manifest the dreams in the fall. And so I think this message for East is just telling us, you know, focus on your dreams, focus on your thoughts, your ideas, your plans, and start manifesting now, because they are going to show up for you in the future. You are going to manifest something beautiful that you have dreamed of. So I think that is what East is telling us. And like I said, East is associated with new beginnings, the direction of air, or the element of air. So I feel very comfortable and happy with that. Now, in my first attempt at this reading, this is where I had needed to sneeze. And so I blew my nose, but I meant to pause the video and I turned it off. So I'm going to be real careful and not do that again. And we're going to look at the direction of the south. And south is usually associated with summer, with fire, with that almost like teenage creative part of our lives. So let's see what our message from the south is. We have being in flow. And it says here, I am in flow of the universe. I am in the flow of the universe. So you are being in flow. And this is a beautiful card. This is not one that I've seen before in readings for myself or when I did the Yule reading. But this is beautiful. This is the image of somebody in a ship, but sailing, you know, really in the universe. There's Saturn behind, the moon behind, almost like drifting on the Milky Way. I am in flow of the universe, being in the flow. So I think the message from South, which is associated with fire and creativity, is just giving you that spark of flow. Let yourself flow. Let your ideas, your creativity, the things that you want to be flow to you. Allow yourself to relax. Maybe don't fight the current, but just float, you know, just hang out and see where the water takes you. I mean, the image in this card is somebody who is not afraid. She is almost eagerly looking forward to what the future has in store for her. So I think that that's our message from South. You know, just bravely look forward and allow yourself to go in the direction that you were meant to. That's how I interpret that. And I'm quite excited about that. So let's take a look at our message from the West here. West is usually associated with, I don't know if I said, but South is usually associated with the noontime day. For the West, we're kind of looking at the sunset, that evening time, that liminal space. West is associated with water as an element, very intuitive as far as your feelings, your guidance. So let's take a look at what the message of West has in store for us. Taking action. This card actually came up in my Yule reading, and it was in the perfect position. It was under the fire element, and that's exactly what fire is. It's like taking action. But it's interesting that this card is coming up for us again. A different reading, a different idea, but the concept is the same. So the message here is taking action, and it says, I enthusiastically embrace life's boundless possibilities. So if you knew me well, you would know that sunsets are my favorite time of the day. I like a sunrise too, but I'd rather sleep through them, if I was being fair or honest. But sunset is gorgeous. That liminal space, just when the sun is going down and you get that beautiful vibration from the day that was and the night that's coming. It's gorgeous. But so this card is telling us to take action. I enthusiastically embrace life's boundless personality or possibilities. I'm so sorry about the coughing, guys. I apologize. And what's interesting about this is this was telling us, you know, kind of plant our seeds to manifest our dreams. Being in flow is just kind of flowing with the direction that life wants us to go. And here we are suddenly told to take action. So these things can only get us so far. And then we have to take some responsibility for ourselves or take some action in the direction that we're suddenly going. So here we go. Take some action. Enthusiastically embrace life's possibilities. And by this time, I'm hoping that you'll have seen new or understand better possibilities that life has in store for you. So let's take a look at the message that we have from North. Now, North is an element that's often associated with, as I guess, I don't think I said, but like West would be associated with the fall. North is associated with the season of winter. It is very much associated with the earth, grounded energy. I always think of this as the animal of the bison, you know, very sturdy, slow, grounded energy, but mighty and fierce. So we have this message to us from North. And it's interesting. This is cultivating prosperity, and the abundance of the universe is pouring into my life. So what I think is important to tell us here, that even in the quiet times of life, even when we are slow and steady and maybe grounding ourselves a little bit, prosperity is still flowing to us. Because really, in the spring, in the East, we planted the seeds that are manifesting for us. And now here we close out the year with the same kind of idea of cultivating prosperity. And so even if we are in the quiet time of the year, I absolutely believe that abundance is still pouring into our lives. And so this is beautiful. I think we have a lot to look forward to in this year. And one of the reasons that we can embrace what is coming to us in the year is because, good or bad, hard or not, what 2024 or 2025 did for us was healing the past, allowing us to step forward into this future with strength and clarity. So I want to give the deck one more shuffle and not really mess up my deck. We're going to set this at a different angle because now we are saying goodbye to 2025 and we are welcoming in the card or the idea of 2026. And so I'm pretty excited to see this and to see what is in store for us, because I do think it's going to be a big year. And as I mentioned in the Yule reading as well as earlier in this reading, 2026 is numerologically a 1 year. That is beginnings. That is like the magician in the tarot. You know, the magician is just starting out on the journey. The fool is just like brand new, starting out and doesn't know anything. But now the magician is starting out on this journey, but the magician has all the tools. He has all the cards, all the elements, all the things that he needs or she needs to manifest everything they want. So that's what we're looking forward to when we go into this 1 year. And the card is Awakening Ancient Wisdom. I just got chills, like all tingly up the back of my head, guys. This card is important for what 2026 means to us. So Awakening Ancient Wisdom. Deeper inner knowing is emerging within me. So that is a beautiful message. I'm just going to hold this up here a little bit. If you want to take a screenshot, this might be a nice time to carry this idea with you through the year. Awakening ancient wisdom, deeper inner knowing is emerging within me. I actually, for this card, I do want to read from the guidebook because I think it's important. I just need to find it really quick. It's the number 2 card in this deck. But I just got to get there. But, oh, I'm so sorry about the coughing, guys. I am going to read this because I do think it's important for the entire year. You know, we know what the elements or what the directions are bringing into us in terms of energy and ideas. And now we have this. I'm just going to hold this up here a little bit. And again, read this. Deep inner knowing is emerging within me. The card meaning is the wisdom of the ages dwells within you, but is arising now. The chalice of wisdom is being offered to you. Pay attention to the coincidences, signs, and synchronicities around you. Profound enlightenment is growing within you, even if you are not aware of it. This is an important card. This card has not come up for me in a personal reading or in any other reading. So I just want to continue to read what is in here for this card. I think it's important. The universe wants you to know that the wisdom of your ancestors, your predecessors, and all of history exists deep within you. If you believe in the Akashic records, and they absolutely do exist for all of us, then this is what you have. You have the knowledge of everything that has come before you and will come after you, available to you. We just have to find the means to access it. An inner portal is opening at the sacred information as sacred information pours into your consciousness. You have always possessed innate knowledge, but at this juncture, simply by being still, you are able to access it with even greater perception. You are a wise being, and your wisdom is very supportive and helpful to others. And this deck also, or this book also gives us some questions to ask for ourselves. And normally I wouldn't read this, but I think it's important for each and every one of us. So these are questions to ask ourselves. To understand a dream, sign, or synchronistic event, ask yourself, is this symbolized a message? Is this symbolized a message from the ancients? If this symbolized a message from the ancients, what would it be? How can I access even more wisdom within myself? How can the wisdom of the past help my present and my future? So those are 3 questions to put forward to yourselves during this coming year. You could write them down and think about it every day. I'm actually going to write those down and I'm going to look at them. I don't know about every day, but probably once a month, and just really progress my way through what the year is showing me and where I am at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to wrap this reading up. I hope you all have enjoyed it. I'm so sorry about the sniffles, the sore throat. I was sick this time last year too, and a little bit into the spring, and then it was just like, bam, I was done being sick, and I hadn't been sick. And I hadn't been sick like this for a while. Like today, this is just a mild inconvenience, but the night before and yesterday was no fun. So anyways, I hope you've all enjoyed this reading. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful new year. Enjoy yourself. Drop me some comments. I'd love to hear what you think about this deck or the messages or any of the cards that came up. Again, thank you so much. My name is Stacy. My channel is The Liminal Space, and I wish you all a happy new year.